There is a slice of society that feels this way, voting for candidates like this, whether or not they understand the consequences. What are some ways we could reform the system right now? What do you think people really want to see to be able to make things a little bit more comfortable without going full on Gavin Newsom and saying you've got to take a pitchfork to the billionaires?
So I think the problem is far worse than we're talking about here. 6 in 10 Democrats view socialism favorably. The Democrat Party today is a majority socialist party. And when you have 95% of the mainstream media that will say and do anything to get their party elected, like things that from Glenn Pranter's background, you know, he still has the support of Ro Khanna, who is not just some fringe element. He's one of the emerging leaders of the Democrat Party. So this all comes down to reducing the size of government, right? Because you're going to get left-wing populism and right-wing populism. And when you have Luigi Mangione revered as some sort of a hero to the left, right, you really have to figure out what you're going to do to make this world better, and so that more people participate. And like, what are you going to do for the forgotten man and woman? And so obviously in New York, Mondami comes in and says, I want to help all these people, right? And he wasn't talking about all these big issues and everybody's arguing about the debates. His sole focus was, hey, this is what I'm going to do to help your life. And the number of voters that voted for Trump that voted for him, especially younger voters, like the voters who are up for grabs, that are going to move elections going forward, they just want help. Right, and all that we really got from this administration, because of Congress and the Senate not really doing anything, is we got a tax cut, which, you know, for blue collar, no tips on
tax on tips.
Yeah, and very, very, very helpful. We have a housing bill that's at the goal line, but we can't get anything else done. So all you can do is deregulate, right? Get the government out of your life, shrink the size of government, right, so that things do become more affordable. Because, like, look, when the government gets involved in something, okay, has the cost of anything ever?
No, but do Republicans get credit for that? I think that the problem is that the Democrats are so effective at marketing.
Some people, it's just not low enough.
So the retailers need to buy their gas going forward. So as the price start rising, they start rising it immediately at the pump, so they don't get caught out to dry. So if you're selling $3 gasoline and you're going to need to be selling it at $4 or $4.50 out 2 and 3 weeks from now, you'll raise prices immediately, and then you need to burn through that higher cost inventory for it to come down. That's why it's the lag, because you got to let these people operate. It's a highly competitive industry, and it's like, you know, I was never this way, but I have relatives that are very much this way. They'll drive around for 15 or 20 minutes to save 10 cents, 20 cents on a gallon. We all know those people, but that's the free market at work, and it is working. But this gas price problem never bothered me because I drive a Tesla.
Oh my.
Well, that is a good
Do you own Tesla too? So can America stay ahead while putting guardrails on the very technology it's trying to lead? Mike, I want to come to you first on this because you've been on the forefront, one of the earliest guys I know that pinpointed Palantir, leading innovator in the AI space, the operating system for AI. How do you see government intervention, government oversight? You said it earlier, they've never brought down costs with anything that they've regulated. How do you see them regulating and impacting AI?
You know, you're in a real rock and a hard place here, right? Because who are you going to put in charge of regulating AI? Elizabeth Warren? Bernie Sanders? Like, these are the people that they're going to have a direct impact in writing those laws. So how do you put together a framework? I think the administration, using kind of the, you know, tech bros that are in the administration, the David Saxes of the world, alongside the very smart minds at the Department of War, okay, a lot of them ex-Palantirians, to kind of figure out, okay, there's some problems with the latest Claude models in, like, you know, they leak into other parts and data security becomes a real risk. And so until you can put some guardrails on that and you're comfortable with the guardrails, I think what they're doing now is probably, you're making the best of the bad situation. But in terms of China and this China competition, the LLM themselves and these models, they're talking about China's models getting better. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, in 3 weeks, OpenAI will be better.
That's
in
what
a
I
month,
said yesterday.
China will be better. And like, these are all going to be commoditized. The value is going to come from how they integrate and what you do with them, and the guardrails you can put on them for data security, implementation, and the tools you can build off the LLMs. So major headlines about the latest models from China being better and people are freaking out. Like, that's...
Yeah, but just wait another week. I said this yesterday. Wait another week, like we had OpenAI leading Anthropic, and it switches.
Hey, Amy Coney Barrett, it's just been an absolute and utter complete disappointment. total and complete. And the people that were shouting the loudest to confirm her and for her are the same people that were cheering the loudest to go to war with Iran. And they're the same people cheering for us to go back in and to put boots in the ground, i.e. the people who've been wrong since Trump showed up on the scene. Like, this is another Federalist Society disaster in the judiciary. All right? The notion that birth tourism is somehow codified by the 14th Amendment, you have, like, the jumps in logic you have to make. And, like, if Amy Coney Barrett had changed, was solely against this, Roberts would be writing the majority opinion on the other side. Like, he's just whichever way the wind blows. So, look, every Republican president ends up, like, so Roberts is George W. Bush, and then was it Kennedy under Reagan? And then now Trump has got Amy Coney Barrett.
Let me ask you one question.
So
on this.
add Mozambique to that list. Keep going.
This was actually brought up on your show when you guys were covering it as it was breaking, which I thought was a brilliant point for somebody to make, which was that you look at Amy Coney Barrett, appointed by President Trump. Doesn't this actually speak to, whether you agree with the opinion or not, the fact that the Supreme Court is independent? She didn't just side with President Trump. Yeah. And the left is out there always saying the court needs to be packed. It's not fair. It's not fair. They never say that when they get what they want. They only say that when they don't get what they want.
It's judges that are appointed by Republicans as they get into that D.C. sphere just move to the left. It's kind of been well studied and written about for decades. And look, it's, you know, you had these ProPublica attacks on Clarence Thomas and Semaphore trying to make it out like he was buddy-buddy with one of his friends and taking improper gifts, all this sorts of other things. But it's, look, you know, you're never, when there's a big leftist issue, you know exactly where Kagan, Sotomayor, and Kentucky Jackson Brown are going to be. So, like, and like, this is not some legalese debated, like, this is like, can you see what's in front of your face? Or do you want to try to make it up?
But wasn't the decision that it was procedural, not that the president was wrong, that it was being misused or abused? It's you're going about it the wrong way. It has to come through another way, just like Clarence Thomas alluded to in his opinion.
All right, more to come on this. As Bill said, it's ongoing with everyone's opinions. Thank you so much for being here. And Michael Lee, thank you too.
Thank you.
We've got a lot more coming.